Brilliance Audio presents The Tubman Command by Elizabeth Cobbs, performed by Heidi Franklin. For Myra Frances Burton, student, teacher, and friend. Then we saw the lightning, and that was the guns. And then we heard the thunder, and that was the big guns. And then we heard the rain falling, and that was drops of blood falling. And when we came to get in the crops, it was dead men that we reaped. Harriet Tubman on the War Between the States. Chapter 1. May, 1863. Another woman today, just from the Maine, said to me that she had hard work to escape, sleeping in the marsh and hiding all day. She brought away her 2 little children and said her master had just licked her eldest son almost to death because he was suspected of wanting to join the Yankees. They does it to spite us, ma'am, 'cause you come here. They spites us now, 'cause the Yankees come. Laura Town, teacher, St. Helena Island. Harriet's eyes flew open at the cock's crow. Her mouth was dry and her heart pounded. In the early morning light, she still sensed her husband's solid hip against hers, as if all she had to do to take him in her arms again was roll over. Instead, she pulled the sheet across her face. John Tubman was gone, for good. Their marriage had been a sturdy one. John's timber business thrived in the 5 years they lived next to the plantation where Harriet grew up, rented to one sour-tempered mistress after another until she was strong enough for field work outside slapping range. Her master, Edward Brodess, hadn't objected to the union. As she recalled, he even smiled when she asked permission. If a free man wanted to waste his seed on a slave wife, Brodess was happy to reap the fruit. Free people of color like John Tubman often loved the wrong person. It was an easy mistake in a Maryland county where half the black population was enslaved and the other half was not. And John had been smitten ever since he spied Harriet felling a hickory all by herself. One tiny woman against the forest, he'd said, singing like an angel and swinging an axe like the devil. Daylight filtered through the thin fabric. Harriet lowered the sheet in the stuffy boarding house on Port Royal Island and gently pressed 2 fingers against her lips, as John had done in her dream. She breathed slowly and deeply through her nostrils, filling her lungs. She could almost smell him. His voice still sounded in her ears. "You know I can't, sweet baby," he'd whispered, tracing a line down her cheek. His fingers had come to rest on her lips, quieting her objections. Then he'd lifted his head and kissed the dent above her left eyebrow. She felt it even now, in that tender way he once had. The gesture never failed to soothe her, though she couldn't abide a kiss on the back of her neck, where the whip scars of childhood still tingled and shied at any touch. Why wouldn't he go with her? She'd tried so many different ways to phrase the question, this way and that, though she knew all of them made him feel weak. If she wanted to be his woman, she needed to let him be a man. Or so Mama said, and she had been married to Harriet's father nearly 3 decades. They'd brought 9 babies into the world, despite seeing each other only on the Saturday.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?